Morning, everybody. My name's Wayne. Welcome to another episode of Graybirds. And to my stage left over here is my good friend, aka Bug. Good
Good
morning,
morning,
sir.
sir.
How
What's
are you?
going on?
Man,
Doing
another
good, man.
day, crazy week. Um, crazy week
Yeah.
for football. Um,
Oh,
uh,
yeah?
your SEC folks, they were gone. You know.
Yeah, the the tide has turned, no pun intended.
Well,
You know what I'm
I was
saying?
so I was surprised, right? The
Oh,
Hurricanes
yeah.
they come in and Ole Miss was not, up to par.
Yeah. Ole Miss, they are they have a high-powered offense, an okay defense, but uh yeah, not in the fashion of other SEC teams that you're used to, But things have changed. This this farm, if you will, of players has been dispersed throughout the NCAA. So
Oh,
you
okay.
no longer do you have five star players for each position. Now you may have one or two. Because it's power base has been dispersed. So. And
Hmm.
I think it's good. To be honest with you, I think it's a good thing. I think they need to spread the wealth. I think now it put the you put the onus back on the coaches. You got to be able to coach these players. You got to be able to come up with schemes, offense and defense. You're not just going to get paid millions of dollars just because you got the talent. I mean, of
Right.
course, there's always coaching's been involved, but if you got the best players, you should win. Most of the time, I should say. So now that it's been dispersed, now these coaches, hey, you can bad we're gonna start earning your money.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna have to earn. You got to earn your keep. That Oregon game. Oh my God, what a disaster! I don't know if you saw that or not, but they got pretty much handled by
Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana looks really well. I mean, they look good.
Well, I think it's going to
Uh,
come. It's coming. What is it? Indiana and the
in
Hurricanes, right?
Miami, yeah, that's gonna
In
be the game.
Miami. The Miami.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, gonna be in Miami. What? I don't know. Miami got a real solid defense. I'm not really impressed with their offense. Even though they put up some good numbers, but
Yeah.
they just don't strike me as a prolific type offense. The running game I think is decent, but really their strength is on the defense, in my opinion.
Hmm.
I believe Indiana's gonna win that game, but I hope Miami wins. You know.
Yeah. It is what it is. We got a couple. Moving on. We'll wait. When did they play? Next weekend? Is it?
I
Is
think it's next Monday. I think they plan this a holiday next Monday. So I think they're gonna play on that day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That
Hmm.
what holiday is that?
Ooh, pressure.
Christian.
Martin Luther King
Christian.
birthday.
Hmm?
Martin Luther King's birthday. I'm just taking a stab in the dark.
It you
No
were
pun intended. You know what I'm
you
saying? I'm taking
stabbed
a stab in
correctly.
the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
You
cool.
know,
I mean, now we got NFL. We got a couple games this week, yesterday, right?
we did. Yep, both were yesterday. Two more
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers played way above expectation. Okay,
Yeah.
that was really good. It got old KB off the couch. He was like, "Whoa, what's going on
Yeah.
down in Carolina?" Yeah, Carolina put on a show yesterday, but in the
Yeah.
end, the more experienced, more seasoned team prevailed
They
in the
did.
end. So yeah,
Yeah. I think I was surprised. I didn't, to, my fault is I did not give Carolina enough credit, right? How good they actually were this year. Um,
hmm
because I'm
Yeah,
used
the
to them.
record didn't
I'm
show.
so used to them suck. The big crap. They got rid of Scam Newton. And they actually start doing well. So
They had their heyday with him, I wasn't a huge fan of Cam Newton. His windup was too slow, but he had a very powerful arm, powerful arm. He's a big individual. He was hard to tackle, so he's a dual threat
yeah.
quarterback. But if I was defending against Cam, I would send more individuals after him. I don't think he was accurate enough that I would have to worry about covering the receivers that much, because sometimes
Yeah.
his passes would be way off. Cam, he's not a guy that would hit you on the fly, so to speak. He's the guy that he can throw the ball. If you're just standing there, he can throw it to you. But if you're
Oh,
moving, I think he struggles with that.
yeah. I think you're right.
That's just me. So, and I know there's maybe some South Carolina fans out there. Boo, I hate you. You can't
Oh,
believe that.
well, you
Representing
mean
this
you
guy.
mean They're not really South Carolina. They're Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, the Carolinas, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
North and South. That's a whole nother story. Why there's
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
differences between.
That's a good. Why did they split? Why
Yeah,
did they split this?
there's been videos out there. People can look it up.
Yeah.
But what was the other game that played that was
Yeah, the Green Bay Packers
Chicago
and
and
the
Green Bay, right? The one that you
another
stayed up
good game.
late for watching.
I did. I didn't want to get out of bed. I hit the snooze
Hmm.
button a lot of times. Like, yeah. So another really good game. But that's the way that game played out. Chicago came back from behind, but that's been their fashion this year. They've um, they've gotten themselves in a deficit, and usually in the fourth quarter they come back and they pull it out. And they did the same thing last night. I didn't
Yeah.
think they was going to be able to do it last night. I mean, I thought the deficit was insurmountable, but they did. They some freaking way they pulled it out, man. It was a good game. Yeah. So yeah. So your boys, the Steelers, they're gonna be
Monday night.
featuring yeah,
Monday
Monday
night
night. Yeah, Monday night. Yeah. So how you feel about that? What does that mean?
means they have no nothing. I mean, of course, I want my Steelers to win. Do I think they will win? I think they have a good chance, right? Again, we were talking earlier, you're talking a whole different mindset, right? There is no more. There always next weekend, right? There's always next
Yeah,
weekend, you know,
going home.
and and it's not right. It's like just one and done kind of thing, and they
Yeah.
if the Steelers can, they find a way um, to win. I
Hmm.
think Houston has a very good chance of beating them. I know I sound like a freaking stupid analyst, but am I confident enough to say the Steelers are going to kick their butts? Da, 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 da? No, that's wishful thinking. I think these teams are closely matched, and I don't think it'll be. We'll see. I mean, when
Yeah.
you look at the Steelers and Cleveland Browns, not to say that Cleveland Browns got a good defense to hold the Steelers to 6 points. You gotta go. Yeah. Can
Yeah.
Houston do the same? I think they can. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe they do have I think they have one of the best defenses out there.
Hmm.
The Steeler Browns thing, the hatred is so deep, right? It is like the Hatfield and the McCoys just beat Pittsburgh. So every player on that darn Browns defense was on steroids for this game. You
Oh
know,
yeah, they were on.
reckless
Yeah,
abandon. Okay, just beat if to salvage our season, we must beat the Pittsburgh Steelers at all costs.
yeah,
And they did it. I mean, they got it. But usually when in games like that, it's the defense that get up. Why don't the offense get up like that? Why don't the offense, why didn't the Browns score like 50 points? It's always the defense that comes alive in those type of games and have uh an awesome showing. Well,
Mm.
why don't the offense like, yeah, let's kick the darn Steelers tail. We're gonna go out here and we're gonna score at will. No, it's always the defense that rises to the occasion, you know, in these
Yeah.
type of matches, man. So I'm just like, wow, it's just amazing,
Yeah.
So it was good. I think the Steelers, um, they carry their proud tradition well, unlike my team. The Dallas Cowboys, the ghost of old Dallas players aren't assembling amongst the Dallas team. Dallas, they just playing. I'm like, it's making me mad. Just playing. But you see some of these teams like the Browns, they can rise to the occasion. The Steelers can rise to the occasion. Different ones can rise to the occasion. But the Dallas team, they don't have it. They just don't have the killer instinct. They play football. It's like, okay, we're playing football. We're having a nice, fun football game. Yeah.
They
But you
did
see these
that.
other teams out there
That's because they
knocking each
ain't
other
locking
lights
their
out.
hat on. They don't lock their hat on and keep their head in the game. They're all too worried about what about me.
I think so. I think it's something akin to that. I don't know. Is it just will not, cannot? Maybe they need to show them some old films. This is our storied past. You know what I'm saying? You guys you're gonna sit in here for 6 hours and watch old Roger Staubach and Danny White and Troy Aikman videos. This is how we were, but it's not there. Even though I love my boys, I'm gonna defend them at all costs. But yeah, they don't have the heart,
Oh yeah,
man. It comes down
I
to.
mean that's part of being, you take the good with the bad, right? That's the thing, there's
Mhm,
unfortunately there's a lot more bad going on. It isn't just in, the cowgirls realm, it's all across the NFL. It's
mhm,
all about, it's sports in general anymore. There's no loyalty, right? It's all about how much money you want to pay me, and it's unfortunate, but that's kind of how the world is, anyways. But when you openly see it's they sit there and go, just like college sports, it just makes me angry about the monies, right? Because everybody would always argue, and because I was more NFL kind of guy, right? And they would always argue. And I said, well, why don't you like the NFL? Why, and they were like, because college is pure. It's not about the money and it's all not about blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, you know.
Um, yeah, because that fact was hidden from the public,
Yeah.
that money was always involved, but the players didn't have the players, in my opinion. Now, this is purely opinionated. They were aspiring to go to get the money, for going to the NFL, or they had
Mm.
that what they call it esprit de corps. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing for Penn State. We got a proud tradition or whatever. But
Well,
behind all of
whatever.
that,
Yeah. Those are
yeah,
those
was
days are gone. Those are gone. Those have been gone for a long time. It's all who can do the best for me. And I get it. It's all about self-preservation, right? You got to be able to, you know, if you have aspirations to be a professional football, basketball, you name it, baseball, whatever sport it is,
mm-hmm,
you want to go somewhere that's going to give you the best opportunity to fulfill your dream of being a professional player, whatever the sport.
hmm
And
hmm
we get that. I get that.
yeah. So let me ask you this. Is the goal of these players to win? Is that their goal, or is their goal to get this humongous paycheck? You think that's what it is?
It's all
Their
about the
goal?
money. I mean, it's
That's
all,
what it-
they all put on a show. It's all, and this is my opinion, right? It's like the world according to Wayne. Um, that when you think about, you know, they want to make as much money. They know they have a limited time physically that they can play this sport, whatever it is. There is a limit. Some have longer, span of time, but they typically don't make as much as big paychecks, right? And I get it. But the problem is they get this big money and they spend that like there's like no end to it, right? For a good part of them. And there's a community, I say community, it's probably a wrong word, but there's, there are people that are more into the showmanship than some others, right? Regardless of what, you know, you may think, it's not tied to any specific genre or, ethnicity or anything like that. It's just that some are better planning
They're
for their
typical.
future instead of living for, they get ate up in this, oh, it's all about me, showmanship, showboating, whatever term you want to use.
Yes.
But then, next year they get hurt and they can't play no more. And they're like, where's the money? Sure, their contract has some, if they get hurt playing, I'm sure their contract has these clauses that they're
Yeah.
going to get paid, right? But it
Hmm.
ain't the millions of dollars that they were counting on so they can continue this crazy, jackassery lifestyle that they live.
You think about it, most of these guys are young men, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've had discussions around the office like what we did in our youth, and then we became enlightened when we got it maybe in our late 20s or 30s, I need to invest, I need to save, I need to, what I'm saying? So these
Oh yeah,
guys are young. I mean, they're barely in their 20s, and they all of a sudden you just dump wads wads of cash on these cats, and they don't know how to, they don't know how to manage their money.
no, they
In
don't.
their mindset, they're like, yo, we're gonna go out here and I got a 4-year contract. I can spend this first $10 million, what I'm saying, on strippers and cocaine or whatever they're spending on, buying
Yeah,
jets, jewelry, whatever it is they're buying, and
yeah.
they
I
won't.
mean, but I think that's the amount of people that are doing the latter that you said is
Mhm.
is minuscule. It's not,
I don't know,
I
man.
don't think,
There's a
but they're
lot of them
typically, a lot of them are what you consider superstars in the sport, right? They have insane talent, but they don't
Mhm.
have any common sense, right? At
No,
least
they're 20s.
outwardly. Outwardly, it shows that when you look at him, you go, "What is this guy thinking?" It's like, where's your common sense?
Mhm.
you can take many of great receivers that have been out there that have, man, these people, they had they were so talented. Next thing you know, they're in jail because they thought they were untouchable, domestic violence, DUI, whatever and situation wise, they end up um,
Yeah,
just losing
exactly.
everything.
You think about it. You all of a sudden you got $10 million in your bank account. You have an air of
Mm-hmm.
first of all, with your youth, you already feel like you're invincible, but now you got to put this thick icing on top of that, which is money, millions of dollars. Yeah, they're like, man, hey, chick, you ain't cook no breakfast, or you
Yeah,
stepped on my shoes, or whatever. You
yeah.
can't touch me. I got millions. I got a lawyer on standby. They have this air of invincibility. They're adults with adolescent minds.
But I mean,
That's
that's the thing. How do we fail these people? How do they,
by
fail?
putting that money out there. That's how we, you know, the priority is not okay. You and I grew up in a different age, but we had to learn, right?
Yeah.
We took these pebbles, they don't even have to go to school. I mean, they attend school, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But there's no drive. If you're an athlete, you know how it was, how the jocks, you get some nerd to do your homework and take your test. And the coach, if you fail the test, the coach would come down there and talk to your English teacher and be like, I think you missed. I don't think you graded his paper
Yeah,
properly.
let's
Oh,
give
I
or give
did.
them, give them another chance. We'll do some tutoring. They'll make a
Yeah,
deal, right? Whatever the
yeah.
deal.
Make a deal. Let's make a deal.
Yeah,
You
because
know, how
I
about if
want
I'm
to.
an English teacher and they said, and the principal come down to my class and says, Mr. Sharp, we're doing bonuses this year for about probably about $50,000.
Yeah, come on.
Really?
I'm thinking they got a little more integrity than that.
No, man, the members ain't got no integrity, man.
I'm
I
thinking
know.
they do.
I know, man.
I want to
Look,
believe they
for the
do.
fact for the fact that they're doggone
They got bad.
letting these bad boys take seventh grade math in college, that's telling you they don't have freaking integrity, man. Dexter Manley, he was a player for the Washington Redskins, and he shunned the microphone. But finally, they got him on the microphone. This dude, he broke down crying because he was illiterate. He couldn't even read the damn script.
Mhm.
It was like an unveiling of what's going on with these NFL players. These dudes are basically uneducated. They've
Yeah.
been ushered through school.
And
You
how
know
long ago? How long ago is this guy? Was this
that guy was
recent?
a long time ago, but it's
Yeah.
gotten worse. You know,
How
you're
did they
right. I
get through
mean, we're
college?
talking.
Did this guy not play college football?
Yeah, he played college football,
He's
but
got
they
a
just
college
I'm saying
degree. He's educated.
they're pushing these cats through there. They're not required to learn. They're not
Mhm.
required to learn, and that's why you get these savages out there. You like I hate to say I like this dude Lawrence Taylor. Them guys they'll tell you they do their documentaries or whatever, and they tell you, hey man,
Mhm.
this is what happened. We had all the girls. They basically farmed girls into us. You know what I'm saying? They come to such and such university. We have the finest females here. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, however they present it. They probably wouldn't say it like that. But we got this. We got everything that for your pleasure. Just
Yeah.
come here. This is incentives to come to the school. You got a different girl come to your room like every week. So yeah, these guys have been catered to. And then when
Of
they get to
course.
the NFL, they get to the show.
Yeah.
Hey, as long as they can, hopefully, and not all of them. Now, there's some that's smart. Now, don't give me that every football player is like that, but there's a lot of them that they don't get it.
They
They
definitely
can,
don't get it.
they're just an athlete, man. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. You got some smart ones that invested and stuff like that. You look at, yeah, but they used to get in their way, just like a child.
Well, we saw it.
You,
And what was that? What was that movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Toby Maguire? One of
yeah,
Toby
Jerry Maguire.
Jeremy Maguire.
Jerry,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Was he
yeah,
called
yeah.
Jerry Maguire? Jerry?
I think it was Jerry Maguire with the guy that was in Top Gun. He was
Yeah. Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cuba Gooding
Yeah.
Jr.
Cooper Gunn
He
Jr. Yeah.
isn't he in jail now or something? He found out.
I know he had some legal troubles, but I don't know if he's in jail right
Yeah.
now. But
I
that's
was
some
always impressed. I was always impressed with his acting. I thought, you know, but you
yeah.
know,
Money, man. Money.
yeah,
Money. Hey, it corrupts,
money make
man.
you crazy, as they say. But
It
anyway,
does.
let's move on. Talked
Let's
enough
move on.
about, yeah, talked enough about the the problems in college and professional
Problem of
sports.
the rich.
Problems
Rich
of the
people
rich.
problems.
The problems
Yeah.
of the rich, right?
Well,
The wealthy. You know.
hmm
But they want to do the right thing. They think, oh, we made it. We got money. I just, whatever. But anyways, moving on. The fraud going on with all this. I think it's more this daycare fraud, right? I had no idea, and we had talked about this when it first broke that this fraud was going on, supposed alleged fraud. Let's use that, right? I want to be, I got nothing back from my Minnesota northern family that on my wife's side. They gave me nothing. They're all I can say is either one, they don't watch my content or they don't care, right? They don't want to get called out. They don't want to publicly say what they think of what's going on, right? More than
Hmm.
the more likely sub, is they don't watch my stuff because a lot of them are more left leaning than I'm.
Yeah, they might have didn't have anything to say because they might be in Minnesota and just totally unaware, oblivious to the situation.
Well, I think that's probably a lot of Minnesotans, and it isn't just Minnesotans. It could be anywhere, right? It could be Ohioans. They got some cases going on. Apparently this is now, I guess the only reason I'm wanting to readdress with this, that it's more than just in that one state. It could be up to $600 billion in fraud in this daycare stuff. And I was like, $600 billion? That is outrageous. Outrageous. And I don't know the numbers that could be potentially, and that could be just people on whatever sides, if you look to listen to the people on the left, they think they're just head hunting if you were, you know, for this program.
Headhunting.
It's crazy.
Okay. It's just weird. I don't know enough about it, but just my common sense is telling me the fraud that we see is not the main part of the true fraud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We see these Somalians who've been here like 12 days, but yet they've had access to freaking billions of dollars of money. I don't, I can't, it doesn't compute, man. It doesn't. So there's something else going on. How can these cats just come here and set up daycares and
I,
fraud the government? I mean, what? First of all, this is wrong. This is wrong. I'll probably get banned. I said, I'm gonna get banned, y'all. But first of all, this mug's dialect. Okay, his dialect would make me suspicious in the first place. You wait a minute, you just got here, and we're gonna give you a darn loan to open up a daycare, and I've been here for
how many decades? My
60,
entire life. Yeah.
63 years.
Yeah.
And I got the doggone go through all kind of stuff to get a loan. If I want to get a loan for my lawn business, I don't think they'll be so free-hearted. You know, how could these cats come over here speaking their dialect? I'm not even going to try to emulate it. I'm already getting probably some tomatoes thrown at me. But that don't make sense to me. And it don't make sense that I mean they're pulling the wool. I just believe they're pulling the wool over some bad boys' eyes. I don't it's hard for me to believe. There's some other actors out there putting this money in their pockets.
Oh yeah.
So most have been here a
Absolutely.
lot longer than them guys.
The
You
thing
know, so
is that who in their right mind thinks that's the right thing to do to take our tax money and give it to other people out that are not even citizens of the
how
U.S.?
many
I don't understand that.
representatives there are per state? That's how them mugs that's up there in the White House, they think that's the way we should be doing it. Take your money and give it to other people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
understand that.
yeah. That's what they do. We take your money. All right, just like when they did the Doge thing. What was that thing called where they was giving all this money to these foreign countries and stuff like that? I can't think of
Oh,
ADDE something.
U.S. AID,
US
yeah,
US
AID,
aid.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, US aid. Come
Yeah.
on, man.
The 10-minute
Our
warning just came,
representative.
or 10-minute warning just came up. So
Oh man, come on. We just started.
I know. I just don't understand it. And those that do watch, please comment why you think it's okay to give our tax dollars to non-citizens just willy-nilly, whatever it is, right? Whether it's aid. Now, I get disaster aid and stuff like that, other countries, because a lot of times we have stuff that's surplus, and it's like, okay, if we keep it sitting here in the stockpile, it's just going to go bad, and then we lose that. We're losing it anyways, right? Most things have a shelf life. Aid wise, we all know in our business we see stuff that sits on a shelf for 5 to 10 years. It becomes outdated. It no longer functions. Whatever, right?
Yeah.
Why is it
Well,
okay to give our tax dollars to non-U.S. citizens? I don't care if they got a
I
green card or what. They're not a U.S. citizen. Is it
yeah.
just me to think that there's a problem there? And the amount, it's not. And when we're
I like the personal effect that you're giving them right now.
the
I like it.
$40 trillion in debt, and you think it's okay to keep giving out our tax dollars? I don't understand that. It just blows my mind.
I got something
But
that might blow your mind, Wayne. What if a representative say, those are not your tax dollars? You know what I'm saying? We only take in so much, so many. This money that we're giving away is money that we just created out of thin air.
yeah,
Okay.
sure, okay.
Your taxpayer dollars. Yeah, we're taking your taxpayer dollars and we're paying probably the real bills. But the rest of that money, it's money that we borrowed from other countries, whoever, the
You
freaking
you make
Federal
a very
Reserve
good
or whoever.
point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The real money, we're actually using it to pay the bills. The rest of this money is money that we borrowed. You know,
Yeah.
so and think about that. Just dawned on me. It's just like, I mean, we're like you mentioned, $40 trillion in debt. Really, taxpayer dollars? No, there's not. Those are not taxpayer dollars. Those are money that our representatives have borrowed. They've borrowed a large percent of that money. You know what I'm
And for
saying?
what? And to give, but they borrow this money and give it away.
Yeah,
And then we're, as taxpayers, as the citizens, they work for us, right? That's like employee theft. You go to jail, that's very serious. Like if you work at a retailer and you start stealing their stuff, employee theft, you're going to jail because you know, but yet nobody, nothing's ever done because they go, oh, this is policy, foreign policy or
it
whatever,
is. Yeah,
right?
you know when the cops are doing bad, who's gonna arrest them bad boys?
Mhm.
These guys are highfalutin individuals. They're our leaders. When the leaders are doing bad, you gotta have a bigger agency to deal with them guys. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta, and they're not gonna tell on each other. It's wholesale fraud.
Hmm.
Wholesale fraud, my friend. They're like, man, they still spending that narrative of taxpayer payer dollars. Nah, we're on a whole nother level of scheming. This is money that we've borrowed for our agenda. This is, who gonna tell us how to spend this money? And they keep going. Evidently, we're not paying it down, right? We're
Well,
just
that's the
paying
thing. Everybody goes, "Oh, your country's so wealthy." I'm like, "No, it's not. We're in debt. We're broke."
it. That's like I'm not going to use myself as an example, of course not.
Well,
But
no, I'm just saying. But if
you think
you,
about a
it's,
mug. Hey, you think about a mug with 10 credit cards. Yeah, he's gonna be rich.
yeah, he's got all kinds of stuff on the appearance. He looks rich, but he's broke.
Broke
He's
like a mug.
broke,
He's
broke,
broke.
broke. Yeah, I
How
don't.
he's floating around. He's swiping here. And then, eventually and that's all it is, man. We're
Yeah,
borrowing this money and we'll have the illusion of being rich.
yeah,
We're not paying it back. We're not paying
yeah,
it back. We're not
yeah.
paying that money back. That's like borrowing money from Debo, you know? Are you or lending or I'm sorry, or lending money to Debo. I've had it
Yeah,
back. You
because he's
imagine lending
coming.
money to that guy? Like he did on that movie Friday. He said, hey, when am I gonna get my back back? You mean the beach cruiser? Yeah, man, that's my bike, fool. That's my bike. You're like, man, this belongs to
What
me.
bike?
Hey, that's where
What
we're at. We
bike?
got this.
This bike ain't yours. This is my bike.
Yeah, it's
What are you
my
talking
time.
about?
You know what I'm saying? You think you know, pops want me to ask for like I don't want to ask you for the back, but pops want me to ask for the back.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
what back? You mean the beach cruise? Like, yeah. And he punches him. That's my back, fool. Hey, that's where we at. We got this huge military. How you gonna get this money?
Yeah.
Like on that
Anyway.
movie, A Few Good Men. Oh, Tom Cruise wanted to transfer orders of Private Santiago. And
Mm-hmm.
Colonel, I can't think of his name. Colonel Jessup
Mm-hmm.
says, "You gotta ask me nicely, Danny. You
Yeah.
stand here in your bleep 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 white uniform."
White uniform.
So there
Yeah.
it is, man. And that's the whole shebang. And just look,
Yeah.
man, the we just got these oil wells down in South America. Vast oil wells, right?
Mm.
So under Trump, I will say this: he may attack the deficit, or he might be so plugged in, he might be like that. Don't worry about that deficit. Maybe it's not even real, but what he's talking is like I'm gonna put some money into Americans' hands. You know, I'm gonna put money in America's hand.
Yeah. And then
We're
there's
gonna
gonna
have
be people that be like, all right, I can get me a new
heck yeah,
PlayStation 6.
facts. You know, because that's the thing. People just want to be happy.
I
You
can go
know,
get a Walmart and get that 85-inch TV. They were on sale for like $200.
facts. Nobody's thinking about that other stuff, man. They've moved on past that. You know,
Yeah.
this fiscal spending. You know, I was having a discussion about capitalism with one of my buddies, not Chuck, another one.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about, he says, capitalism means to capitalize. You know, he was just breaking it down streetwise. You know, you're taking advantage of somebody's being taken advantage of somewhere. I don't know if it's exactly like that. I could understand his logic. You know what I'm saying? I know. I got you. Hey,
We're
doggone
out of time.
Wayne.
We
Hey,
are out of time.
next episode gonna be good, Wayne. We're gonna introduce a very controversial subject.
Yes. I didn't even
Yeah,
get to talk about it.
we're gonna talk about the Bible.
Yes. Talk about the Bible.
Yeah.
A 200
So
some year old Bible. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you have a great week. Hit the like,
yes.
subscribe if you will. If you think about it, don't cost you nothing. We appreciate it. Tells us you like our content. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great week and God bless. Over
You
to you,
guys are
Bug.
probably wondering what I'm doing. Like I'm doing some old Chinese movie.
You got to say it. You're going to run out of time.
Cats. Hey, God bless y'all, man. Thanks for watching. It's
Uh,
always fun hanging out with Wayne.
yeah, it is.
Take it easy.